Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the 10-part webinar series on the 100-year anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, Lessons Then and Lessons for Today. And in this first seminar, what we're going to do is ask the question, why the interest in the Titanic? Historian D. Phillips says this: the era of the RMS Titanic is long past, but the tragic tale of the unsinkable White Star liner remains the subject of intense public fascination. The Titanic is the most famous and intriguing ship in history, second only to Noah's Ark. Scholars have observed that the three most popular historical subjects are Jesus Christ, the Civil War, and the Titanic. The irony is that the Titanic movie in 3D is released in April of 2012 for its entertainment value, contrasted with the global tragedy that Titanic was on April 15, 1912. We'll take a look back at what society was like 100 years ago and what we can learn about ourselves as we look at the Titanic of 100 years ago and look at our culture today. Titanic was the biggest, the brashest, the most magnificent and opulent structure ever to sail. More than 100,000 people attended her launching. She was a ship of dreams. She was the floating embodiment of the new age of scientific optimism and the international symbol of the century that would finally realize utopia. That is the ideal, perfect, and flawless society. It's difficult today to truly appreciate the impact this event had on the public psyche in 1912. There really are no modern comparisons. She was the first truly international tragedy. The reports caused men and women on 3 continents to weep in despair. News of her demise brought the entire Western world to a standstill for a period of days. The true lessons of the Titanic stand, both as a warning against misplaced faith and human arrogance, and as an affirmation of the age-old principles of duty, sacrifice, and love. We'll take a brief remembrance of what happened, the effect the tragedy had on the world, and lessons we can learn for today. We'll take a look at human hubris and pride, arrogance, and the tragedy itself. We'll take a look at heroism, bravery, and courage, at spiritual courage and fortitude, at manliness and womanhood, and present them as it was reported at the time. We'll use the book, The Sinking of the Titanic and Great Sea Disasters, as our guide that can still be purchased today. Lastly, we'll ask the question, how does this tragedy triumph of character and deep reflection on it relate to our culture, to worldview and faith? You see, Western culture once had something unique in the men and women it produced. There was a worldview of the people on the Titanic that influenced their actions as individuals and as a whole. And there are acts of faith that challenge us in our own faith today, and during this 10-part series we'll provide questions to ponder and possible action steps to take. This initiative is a cooperative effort between the Worldview Training Channel, the U.S. Civics Training Channel, the USCivicsTraining.org, and the 21-Day Faith Experiment. My name's Craig Seibert. Thanks for tuning in and listening. We hope you enjoy this series.